You know that feeling, right? The one where your stomach just drops when you see the latest cloud bill? That feeling of absolute dread when you realize costs have just gone completely off the rails. Well, today we're going to build the ultimate defense against those nasty surprises. We're talking about a blueprint for smart, predictable cloud cost governance. I mean, that feeling when you open the monthly cloud invoice and your heart just skips a beat, it's like a rite of passage in the tech world, isn't it? But here's the thing, it really doesn't have to be that way. Today, we are putting an end to that cloud cost anxiety for good. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to really dig into what the problem is. Then, we'll introduce our secret weapon, the governance blueprint. After that, we'll break it down into 4 key pillars. And finally, show you how to make this whole thing work, no matter which cloud provider you're using. So, first up, let's talk about the cloud spending problem itself. And I want to be crystal clear about something right from the start. This is not about pointing fingers at developers, not at all. It's really just the natural, almost inevitable side effect of giving really smart, creative people incredibly powerful and, yeah, incredibly expensive tools to go and build amazing things with. 35%. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. A 35% budget overrun. That's not some rounding error, right? That's a full-on 5-alarm fire. This one number shows you just how fast and how badly cloud costs can spiral out of control if you don't have the right guardrails. So how do you fight that fire? Well, you do it with a solid plan. And that brings us to Section 2, your governance blueprint. This is where we stop just reacting to those awful surprise bills and start actually, proactively controlling our own cloud destiny. And this right here is the heart of the solution. The Unified Cost Governance Framework. Now, look, it's not just one tool or one piece of software. It's a complete system. It's a combination of rules, tools, and importantly, automated processes that put you in the driver's seat, letting you control your cloud costs before they spiral, no matter which provider you're with. Okay, so what does this framework actually look like when you put it into practice? Well, it all really boils down to 4 fundamental pillars. Let's go ahead and break them down one by one. Pillar number 1 is budgets. And this is your bedrock, your foundation. We're talking about setting clear, non-negotiable spending limits for every team, every project, every single application. This is the absolute baseline for everything else we're going to talk about. But think about it. A budget without alerts, that's kind of like a speed limit without a speedometer. You have no idea you're in trouble until you see the flashing lights. And that brings us to Pillar 2, alerts. This is your automated early warning system. A simple, real-time notification like this one, it can literally be the difference between a tiny course correction and a massive financial headache. All right, Pillar 3 is all about adding a crucial human touch. We're talking about approval gates. You see, without them, any developer can maybe accidentally spin up a server that costs more than their car. No joke. But with an approval gate, you get a common sense checkpoint. A manager has to sign off on any big ticket requests. It's really simple. It's just like an expense report. And our 4th and final pillar, this is where the real magic happens, auto-scaling policies. The best way to think about it is like a smart thermostat for your cloud. It automatically cranks up the power when your user traffic surges, and then it dials it way, way down when things are quiet. The result, you pay for exactly what you use and not a single penny more. So there you have it. Those are the 4 pillars. But here's the big question. Do they actually work in the real world, where multi-cloud is pretty much the new normal? The answer is absolutely. And in this next section, we're going to see how this framework acts like your universal translator for cloud cost control. Look, don't get hung up on the specific product names here. AWS Budgets, Azure Cost Management, GCP Cloud Billing Budgets. Honestly, they're all just different flavors of the same ice cream. The core functionality, the ability to set budgets and create alerts, it's the same pretty much everywhere. The principles of our framework, they are totally universal. Okay, but this brings up a really critical question, doesn't it? We've got our alerts firing. Our budgets are all set. But a tool is only as good as the people who use it. So what happens when one of these critical budget alerts gets sent out and is just ignored? And here is the final absolutely crucial piece of this puzzle, the escalation path. This is where you automate accountability. It's simple. If the first person on the list doesn't respond in time, the alert automatically climbs the ladder to their manager. And for the really critical stuff, you can even set it up to automatically freeze spending on that project. It's your last line of defense to prevent a full-blown financial meltdown. All right, so let's do a quick recap. Cloud costs can feel like a wild beast, but a good governance framework is how you tame it. It's all built on those 4 pillars we talked about: budgets, alerts, approval gates, and auto-scaling. And please remember, this isn't just about saving money. It's about creating a solid foundation so you can have smart, sustainable growth and innovation in the cloud. So we've designed this perfect technical system, right? It has all the right guardrails, all the automation. But that brings us to the final and maybe the most difficult question of all. The technology's in place, but now, how do you build the culture to match? A culture of cost consciousness and real ownership to make all of this truly effective. That's something to think about.